Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. I've been asked several times by members of the community here as my opinion as to which coin to accumulate or around when silver prices are low. Most of you know that I am a firm believer in a good foundation of a silver stack with the American Silver Eagle, because of its recognizability around the world as the premier coin that is so recognized pretty much anywhere you go. That is not to take away from other sovereign mints that have highly recognizable coins in their portfolios and they're recognized around the world as well. But nonetheless, the Silver Eagle has just a slight edge, I believe, over some of these other coins that are out there. Nonetheless, the problem is the premiums. Now, most government mints do charge a premium, and in fact, most of them do not sell directly to the public. And that premium that the mints charge to their distributors, their authorized distributors and dealers, is known as a seigniorage fee. And that is to cover the cost of production in many cases and to also earn a profit. Now, for some reason, the United States Mint charges more than other sovereign mints for that fee. And I think that's part and parcel because they know that it is kind of the premier coin of choice. And it's unfortunate that does happen, but nonetheless, here in the United States, that extra premium does go down to pay down the debt, even though it's a molecule of a drop in the bucket in order to do so. But nonetheless, that fee does not change. And in fact, it's $2 for the United States Mint American Silver Eagle. But when it gets to the dealers, they also need to add their premium on top of that. And that because it is such a recognizable coin, most of those dealers out there will carry it. And they are popular because it provides a foundation for the stack. But silver has been low for quite some time here. It's been a couple of years since we saw $20 silver. And some of us thought it was going to climb back up to that amount again soon. But it may be a little while before it does so. But that $2 premium stays, which means that on a percentage basis, you are paying a higher percentage of premium on these Silver Eagles than you would if the price was $20 or higher. In fact, the higher the silver spot price, really the better deal Silver Eagles become. So that the question is should you accumulate generic bullion pieces? And that is a great question because many times you can get these at a very low premium over spot price. And they are the same, contain the same amount of silver and the like. But we also have to look and discover and find out, well, what exactly are these generic pieces that are out there? Let's break those down. But before we do that, let's talk about higher premium bullion coins. And these are what's known as better bullion, or some people like to call it semi-numismatic, but really that term, it really applies to anything that you can collect or accumulate with relation to coins or rounds in general. So these are the Lunar series, and they're obviously a higher premium product because they come with capsules. They have these special finishes on them. And then you have private issue pieces that are relatively low premium, but very high quality pieces that do carry, a higher than normal generic portion thereof. And then you have other private issues that are very highly specialized, but more than likely 9 times out of 10 will not recapture the premiums charged for these pieces, considering the process has evolved. So then the question is should you stack Silver Eagles or generic bullion when the prices are low? And the answer to that question is both. You may have to adjust. If you are a pure stacker, The pure stackers mantra and their motive and their golden rule, so to speak, is to capture silver products with the lowest price over spot as possible. Nowadays, it's not uncommon to find spot deals for silver. Now, most of the bullion dealers out there will allow just a one-time capture of being able to buy silver at spot or close to spot, but it's really not that hard to find silver at spot. Really, no matter what the price of silver is, you can find these things. They've been around for a couple of years now at the very least. It has changed over the years as far as accumulating silver. You have to take into account sometimes shipping, but a lot of places do give you a free shipping if you purchase $100 or more, or some other number thereabouts. But it's not that difficult to find silver for close to spot price. If you can capture it for close to spot price when the prices are low, well, hey, you're getting a much better deal. But at the same time, I do feel strongly that even when prices are low, it's good to continue to accumulate silver eagles. You just may buy less of them. So you're going to dollar cost average out by accumulating more generic bullion. And the reason why I think it's important to continue to accumulate silver eagles, if you're a pure stacker, of which I am not, by the way, it is because you are continue to hold in high liquidity with the silver eagles. Pieces like this, well, yes, it says that it's silver. It's 999 silver, 1 troy ounce, and that's fine. However, some local coin shops or some places or some people may not fully recognize it. It may be a little bit more difficult to get rid of, and you're going to get probably more than likely a percentage under spot price for pieces like these, even if they're very nicely done. There's just so many different choices out there, and they're not recognizable, and they're not coins or recognizable government bullion such as the Libertad here. That is technically not a coin, although there's some arguments that the government recognizes them as a coin even though there's no denomination on them. That's another story. But regardless, even as such, with these premium bullion pieces and generica rounds out there, the Silver Eagle, I believe, should be a staple in everyone's stack if you are a pure stacker, because of the high liquidity. I would just buy a lot less of them, considering, and depending on where price goes, if it goes down to $10 or $8 or whatever, and there was a time when it did, if there's a lot of high demand for them, well, the spot price, the premiums are going to go up from the dealers, the dealers that we buy from, not the distributors and from which dealers purchase these pieces on the secondary market. Essentially, when you and I buy American Silver Eagles, we're buying from a tertiary market, and so that's the thing to consider there. But I would still buy them for sure. Now, here's the way to buy Silver Eagles when the prices of silver are low. If you can get some new ones, I would suggest probably getting current year or past year, but you may be able to find older American Silver Eagles for less. And it just depends. You might be able to find some that have some coal or where they're maybe a little bit tarnished or whatever, or some local coin shops may have them in junk bins with the regular silver, and I would be all over those if I were you. But you can sometimes find pieces that have a little toning on them or whatever, or their dings are cold, and you might be able to find these things for the price of generic bullion. And if you're a pure stacker, I would be searching the high and low for these kind of pieces, because 2006, for instance, there was less of these made in 2006. And by the way, the mintages on the Silver Eagles, they're making a lot more of them now than they had in the past. But still, they're in the millions and millions of these things. 2006, the mintages of those are over 10 million. That's still a lot of Silver Eagles out there. It's only the 96 that has the lowest mintage at just over 3.5 million. But even those, sometimes you can find good deals on those. It's a lot of coins. Nowadays, in recent years, it's not uncommon to find these things pushing upwards of 48 million coins. So, nonetheless, you can find these Silver Eagles for a decent price in the junk bin, what's known as the junk bin. I don't like to use that term junk in relation to silver in any way, shape, or form, but that's what some people call them. Dinged up secondary market, scratches, coal, eagles with bumps or scratches, spotting on them, pick them up. Because just because they have spots or tarnished marks or what have you, it's still recognized as an American Silver Eagle. That's where I would be looking. And in fact, that would take priority over the generic bullion. But yes, you can find them for closest spot. In times when silver prices are low, look for the back dates and the cold silver pieces to be able to accumulate Silver Eagles. A Silver Eagle is the staple. It is the king of all silver coins out there. There's a lot of beautiful silver pieces out there and a lot of beautiful generic rounds. And I love to collect these things, and that's why I'm a collector. And as you know, as I've said in prior videos, as being a collector of these pieces, well, by default, I'm also a stacker because I'm always protected by the intrinsic value of these. I'm just not stacking crazy amounts of ounces at a time, and I'm also not as concerned about the price above spot as others would be for those of you who are just stacking for weight in general. And but nonetheless, there's your answer. I hope that you found that helpful. So when the prices of silver are low, look for backdated Silver Eagles or cold Silver Eagles that you can accumulate that have far escaped that seigniorage fee that the mints charge. And because a lot of these things have come back and forth from the secondary and tertiary markets, are being sold again for essentially generic prices. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to y'all for watching and encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.